Hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's Jan here. I wasn't going to do this video today. I wasn't ever going to do this video. I was actually planning today to do the an update on the Prepper Pantry, but I thought if I do that, and because sometimes I film Prepper Pantries and you don't actually see me at all, but if I'm in shot and anyone sees my face, they might wonder what on earth's gone on. So I thought, well, I'd just jump on just really quickly and say say what's happened, because as you can see I've got some injuries. I'm okay, put that out first of all, everything's all alright, but when I had my big stroke back in 2012, my left hand started to do kind of automatic writing. It would just pick up a pen and write things that it would just write things. And when I told my doctor about it when he was doing his rounds, I said, my left hand's doing this writing. And he said, that's really interesting. What does it say? So I opened my notebook and I said, it says, don't trust floors. And he said, that's very good advice. And that has been true to the, well, right up to yesterday. I trusted the floor and it let me down badly. We'd been out taking the dogs to the field, and we got back and they were absolutely coated with mud. Neil had come in first of all to open the house up and get it all unlocked. I was bringing the last two in from the car and they were being really well behaved, walking. It wasn't their fault at all. They were walking really, really nice, and just as I came to the point where you have to turn around to go to our front door, literally round the corner, my next door neighbour's house have got the builders doing some work on their house, and the builder said, oh, what beautiful dogs, and went to speak to the dogs, and I was trying to not let them get too close to him because they were just thick mud. But as I was kind of about to turn and one of the dogs went the other way to talk to this builder, who was only about 3-4 feet away from me, you know, it wasn't a great distance, but as the other dog went that way, it literally just threw me off balance, and the next thing I knew I'm laying face down on the pavement. And I mean, the poor builder, bless his heart, he was saying, you all right, you all right? And I was trying to calm him down and say I am all right, but at the same time knowing I'm seriously not all right. I could taste all the blood. I had a mouth completely full of blood and I could taste that. I wear a top plate. I've got some back teeth missing, so I've got some back teeth on a plate, and I could feel that these false teeth had kind of moved, and I quite honestly thought that I'd knocked out some front teeth. I knew that something had gone on and I thought I'd lost some front teeth, but bless his heart, this builder saying, it's all right, I've got the dog. He said, I'll knock on your door and get your husband to come out. And because it was a really good job that he did, because if he hadn't have done that, Neil would have just assumed that I was chatting to one of the neighbours and wouldn't have come out looking for me. And when something like this happens, when you have a bad fall, or when I do anyway, I kind of like to just lay there for just a minute or two, just so I can kind of just assess what's happened. Am I all right? You know, why am I on the floor? Did I pass out? Did I fall over? It was just a fall. I didn't pass out. It was just because my balance is so bad, and you know, just the slightest thing will knock me off balance, and I've just gone face down like that, literally upright to flat on my face. And it would appear, I've been thinking about this because this has happened several times where I've done these going down flat on my face, and I'm wondering if something to do with the brain damage, I've lost my reflex to put my hands out to save myself, because I clearly didn't. You know, I was flat on my face. You might be able to see. I know a friend of mine tells me she watches these on a big screen, and I'm thinking, oh no, please don't. But you might see I've got some grazing on my nose, on just above my top lip, on my chin, and then I've literally put a tooth right through my gum. Well, my bottom lip, not my gum, my bottom lip. So I don't know if you can see that. So I've got a big scab here and then another bit inside. And I've actually, my front tooth, I've knocked it so badly that it's moved in its socket. So now I have a gap in between my two top front teeth that was never there before. And Neil said, well, try and twist it back, but I was just worried that if I did that it would come out completely, so I think sometimes it's just best left alone. And I thought, well, do I phone up the dentist for an emergency appointment or do I leave it till Monday? And I was in shock. I just thought I just need to just lay down now. I just need to get over the shock of this complete accident. And like I say, this poor builder, he managed to get Neil and he said, it's all right, I've got the dogs, I won't let the dogs go, you're all right. Do you need help standing up? And that's another thing I always worry about, is people trying to help me stand up. Because I'm much better left to my own devices, getting up on my own. And luckily when Neil came out, you know, he just took the dogs and he allowed me to, he knows what I'm like, and he allowed me to do exactly that, so I was able to stand up on my own. And of course I had Neil and the builder saying, are you all right? And I hadn't realised, but at this point I had blood all around here, all running all down my neck. And so I knew something had gone wrong in my mouth, but I was worried to even feel it with my tongue in case I found that all my teeth had knocked out. You know, my dad lost his front two teeth in a fall, you know, and it worries me that I would just knock them out like that. So came inside, went up to the bathroom so I could look in the mirror, open my mouth and assess the damage. I was quite surprised actually that all my teeth were still there. I've got one missing at the bottom that I lost in a fall some time ago. But like I said, it slightly twisted the top tooth, and when I went to try and put my partial plate or partial denture back in, it wouldn't go. So I was really worried about that, because I thought if I can't get these back teeth in, I'm not going to be able to eat anything. I'm not going to be able to bite anything as it is because of this, what I've done at the front. And Neil made me a cup of tea and I had to drink that through a straw. Luckily I've got metal straws, so I was able to drink tea through a straw, and I'm still doing that today. It's been 24 hours now since it happened. But it's just the shock, you know, when you suddenly do these things, it's the shock. But I thought, like I say, if I do the prepper video and people see me and start seeing, you know, I've got a great big fat lip, I've got scabs on my lip, I've got scabs on my chin, all up my nose. I mean, my son, I'd told him about it, and his first reaction is, go to the hospital, you might have a concussion. I said, no, I didn't hit here. I took the full force just here. So it didn't hit the top of my head at all. So as far as my actual head and my brain's concerned, that should be all fine. I did, however, go down, I've got big bruises on my knees, and that worries me because I've got artificial knees, and so it worries me that I've done damage to those. And also my right ankle, I must have twisted that because that's extremely painful now. But all in all, I came off quite light, really. You know, it could have been so much worse. I could have, as I say, I could have knocked all my teeth out, could have broken an ankle, could have broken my knees, but it's all right. But like I say, I just thought I'd just jump on just for a couple of minutes and say, if you're watching the Prepper Pantry, if you see me in it, like I say, I might be the other side of the camera and then you won't see anything at all. Or if I'm actually speaking a bit oddly, it's because I've got things happening in my mouth that weren't like it a few days ago. But anyway, that's it for today. Just a quick catch up. So take care. Lots of love. Bye.